Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Bond Court is now in session.
You can proceed. Thank you. Please, thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Rosanna Cortejo, 22 MM 4317 and 22 CF 2396. She has the headset on. Please let me know when you can hear her.
There is contact, Your Honor.
Are you Rosanna Cortejo?
Yes.
Do you need a public defender for your charge for theft?
Sí.
I'll appoint the
Yes.
public defender services. I find probable cause. I'm going to stay the bond at $250. You also have a felony case which you're on release already. I'm going to revoke your release and I'm going to modify the bond to no bond. Please contact your attorney, Winston Hobbs.
Your Honor, I would ask for no return to the Winn-Dixie and also no contact with the co-defendant.
Granted. Is that all for the Spanish interpreter, everybody? All right, thank you. You can go ahead and disconnect, Madam Interpreter. Thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Satia Allen? Good morning, Miss Allen. Do you have a public defender, a lawyer already?
I should.
Okay,
I was able to contact him.
they'll go ahead, they'll stay on the case. You're here because you missed a court date for assault charges on case 22 CF 5248. You're now being held at no bond. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Adrian Lynn Mitchell. Miss Mitchell, do you need a public defender to help you with your cases?
Yes.
Do you want a public defender appointed for your Osceola County Court case? Because I will be addressing that as well.
Yes.
Okay, I'll appoint them. You were arrested for charges of human trafficking on a child under age 18, sexual activity with a 16 or 17-year-old child, deriving support from proceeds of prostitution or lewdness as a first-time offender, and renting space to be used for the purposes of prostitution. State she is entitled to monetary bonds in defense. Do you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I would just ask that you consider the fact that on my sheet, she doesn't have any convictions on her record, no failures to appear, so I ask that you consider that when setting the bond amount in this case.
Anything else, State?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor. Can I have the case number, please?
Sure, it is case number 22 CF 7453. All right, I am considering the fact that she does have a warrant in a pending case, however. On the human trafficking, I'm going to set bond at $100,000. On the sexual act with a child between ages 16 and 17, I'll set that bond at $150. On deriving support from proceeds of prostitution or lewdness, I'm setting that bond at $20,000. And finally, on renting space to be used for prostitution, I'm going to set that bond at $150. I'm ordering that you have no contact with any child under the age of 18. I'm further ordering that because of the allegations of commercial sex, that you not return to the prostitution mapping zone in Orange County. On the possession of methamphetamine, which is an older case from Osceola County, I'm revoking your release and holding you at no bond. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Let's go ahead and go to arraignments. Jasmine, she's medical. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Shall I enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pretrial date, please.
Be in Division 80, the appointed PD.
Yes.
Okay, July 25th at 9 o'clock in courtroom 9C.
After that, I have John Butcher PD case.
And I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Division 63, pretrial will be August 4th at 1 o'clock in courtroom 10B.
Ryan Lamore, 22 MM 3338. I'll appoint the services of the public defender on this case. He has a leaving the scene. This was a summons case, so he's not getting any time. Do you want me to just put him on straight PTR if qualifies?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll have him remanded on this case, put him on straight pretrial release, and enter a plea of not guilty. Is that correct, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
83, please.
It'll be July 25th at 8:30 in courtroom 6C.
Yeah, are you gonna give an alternative if he doesn't qualify?
Give him a $100 bond. Takeem Liggins, 22 MM 3801. He has a public defender.
Here.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Liggins?
Yes,
You're here for resisting officer without violence at open container. Defense counsel, how does he plea?
No contest, Your Honor. The offer from the state was an adjudication of guilt, credit, time served.
All right. Mr. Liggins, how do you plead to resisting officer without violence? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
no contest,
And how do you plead to the charge of open container?
no contest,
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
no,
Did your attorney tell you what no contest means?
yes,
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
yes,
And if you were on probation at the time you committed these crimes, your probation terms would be violated.
yes,
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, medicine, or do you have any health conditions that's preventing you from understanding what's going on right now?
no,
In front of you, there's a plea form. If you agree to the terms, go ahead and sign it.
okay.
Corrections, is anything else holding him?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you have signed the form. At this time, I'll accept your pleas of no contest. You're being adjudicated guilty, sentenced to time served of 22 days. You have 1 year to pay the court cost, and I'll reserve, you have 1 year to pay the court cost, and you'll be released today. Thank you, Mr. Liggins.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. After that is Calvin Lloyd. Good morning, Mr. Lloyd. You're here for charges of petty theft, battery, resisting officer without violence, and resisting merchant recovery, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. Defense counsel, how are we handling his case today?
We're going to enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, enter plea of not guilty, 63.
It'll be August 4th at 1 o'clock in courtroom 10B.
Thank you.
That's your next court date, okay?
And then I have Robert Lloyd Watson Jr.
He's medical, Your Honor.
PD's office, how do you want to proceed?
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Division 84, August 18th at 8:45 in courtroom 4B.
And then Darius Wells. Are you Mr. Wells?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wells, you have a public defender. You're here for charges of trespass. Defense counsel is going to be a time served plea.
No, Your Honor, there is no offer. I believe he has a VOP pending, so we will enter a plea of not guilty.
Enter plea of not guilty, 85, please.
It'll be August 15th at 9 o'clock in courtroom 4A.
Thank you.
So there. That's your next. August.
All right, after that, I'm taking McBride. Are you Ms. McBride? Ms. McBride, do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
No, thank you. I signed the application, but I don't need it.
Are we holding her for a warrant for extradition?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. McBride, you're here for charges of battery and petty theft here in Orange County. Because of a New Jersey case, you're going to stay in the Orange County Jail until there is action from the courts there. Based on that, do you need a public defender to assist you while you're in the county jail here? You're not being transported, even if you post bond on this Orange County court case, the likelihood is that you're not going to be released, that you'll be extradited or transported to New Jersey.
They would take me back to New Jersey
That's correct.
once everything is done?
Yes.
Do you know, like, about how long?
I cannot give you any legal advice. Do you need an attorney to assist you with this?
Yes.
Okay, I'll appoint the services of the public defender.
But I have the address here, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so you'll be held until you're extradited until New Jersey picks you up, and I'll stay the bonds on the battery and the petty theft. You're to have no contact with the victim and not possess any weapons. Thank you.
Can I just have one moment, just.
Sure.
I would also ask for no return, Your Honor.
She's not going anywhere. All right, the next person I'm addressing is Lindsay Miner.
She refused, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Miner has a charge of resisting officer without violence. I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender and stay the bond at $500. Also, she has a charge of fentanyl, possession of fentanyl in front of Judge Barber. I'm revoking her release and holding her at no bond. And finally, on her violation of probation in case 22 CT 1199AA, I'm going to do an on view and hold her at no bond. Tamara Thompson? All right, on Ms. Thompson's case, she has a petty theft, second degree. She just missed a court date, so on that case, I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'm going to set her case at bond, stay the bond at $250 plus pretrial release. PD's office, you may want to put in your notes, I'm not going to do any court minutes on it, that she does have an open D6 case in 22 CT 2914AO.
Any conditions on her?
No. Dennis Tillmans? Sir, you were arrested for a charge of criminal mischief and resisting officer without violence. You are entitled to monetary bond or pretrial release. Which do you prefer?
What is the difference?
Pardon me, what did you say?
What's the difference?
Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Please.
I'll appoint the public defender.
He would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right, I'll put you on straight pretrial release. Make sure you report as required. Thank you, Mr. Tillmans. Jonathan Vitale is next.
And no conditions, Your Honor?
No.
Stay in contact, okay?
What is your name?
Jonathan Vitale.
Mr. Vitale, you're here for a charge of trespassing. I know you were just released from jail. If you would like to resolve your case, the offer is an adjudication, 4 days in the county jail with credit for 2 days time served. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
No, ma'am.
All right, how do you plead to the charge of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Your Honor, can I have just a moment, because the offer was credit time served. I'm just going to
He was
explain
just
the
released
case.
from-
Yes, I understand. So- He would like to accept the offer, Your Honor.
All right, and he's, you just spoke with him as a friend of the court,
Yes.
correct? Mr. Vitale, how do you plead to the crime of trespass? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand what no contest means?
No.
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, medicine, or do you have any health conditions that's preventing you from understanding what's going on right now? If you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation? You need to answer out loud.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in front of you, there's a plea form. If you agree to the terms, go ahead and sign it. I'm also going to order that you abide by all trespass orders and no return. All right, Mr. Vitale, I'm adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you to 4 days with credit for 2 days, no return to the scene of the crime, abide by all trespass orders, thank you, ma'am, and pay your court costs within 1 year. That concludes your case. Do you have any questions? Cesar Cruz Diaz.
Yes.
Are you Mr. Cruz Diaz?
Yes.
Do you need a public defender to help you with your new charges?
Yes.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint them. In case 2022 MM 4316, you have charges for petty theft as well as driving with license suspended. I'll go ahead and stay the bonds on both of those charges and with no return to Winn-Dixie. However, you're also out on bond in case number 2022 CF 2395 and 2021 CF 1571AO. I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond, Mr. Cruz Diaz. I've stayed that. Ishmael, Gadarius, is that how I pronounce, how I'm supposed to pronounce your last name?
Garrido Arias.
Sir, you were arrested for a new charge of driving with license suspended with knowledge. Give me a moment. And you're already out on bond for charges of the same nature. Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Defense counsel, if you would like, I will take a plea on the driving with license suspended, adjudication credit time served for the misdemeanor case, and I'll set him a bond on the felony.
Okay. Let's see.
Your Honor, the state objects. It appears as though this is an enhanceable offense, and he may have enough.
I looked at his DL record. It's a county court case. He has one conviction and a couple of withholds.
Okay. And you said that you were going to give him an adjudication on the duelist. He has two, so which one are you giving him an adjudication on?
Excuse me?
Which case number are you?
County court case number. That's the only thing I could take a plea on. So that's case number 22 CT 65AE.
He would like to accept, Your Honor, and enter a plea of no contest.
All right, I do want to advise you first that I will be adjudicating you of the crime of driving with license suspended. If you commit a future act of driving with license suspended, you could be charged with a felony. You already have those charges pending, as well as be designated habitual traffic offender. Do you understand that? In case 22 CT 65AE, how do you plead to the charge of driving with license suspended? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No.
Can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
And did you read the paper in front of you, the plea form?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
Yes.
And if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated? Okay, I'll go ahead and take the plea form for the record. You did read it and sign it in open court, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
In the,
If I'm not mistaken, I believe we are appointed on both cases.
I see you on, actually, I see the PD's office on the county court case, but not on the circuit.
Okay.
All right, so in that case, I'm going to, in the county court case, I'm adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you to time served. I believe you have 4 days in total.
1 day, Your Honor.
One
Day on that case.
he might have time in prior.
Yeah, he was booked in on February the 15th, and he bonded out February the 15th.
Okay, so I'll give him credit, time served, and 1 year to pay. And then in case number 2022 CF 626AO, I'm revoking your release. I'll put you on straight pretrial release. Will he qualify?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll set his bond at $100, and I'll stay the bond on the new arrest for driving with license suspended. After that, I have Zena Glass.
She refused, Your Honor.
This is it?
On Zena Glass's case, I'll go ahead and, if she does not have a public defender, I'll appoint them. Are you waiving her appearance? Defense?
Yes, waive the
She's
appearance.
3, no, okay, and I'm gonna stay
Oh,
the
wait.
bond.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. He was talking. On this one, she's medical. Could we,
I
this
thought
is,
she said refuse.
or sorry, she refused. Can we try and reset for tomorrow? It's probably because she didn't think she was going anywhere, but there is an offer to resolve the case.
If you want to resolve it in front of Judge Gibson. I'm gonna stay the bond.
Okay.
So it's not being rolled to tomorrow?
Not rolling it. Refused, yeah, thank you. William Santiago, Rosado.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Marco Cason.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Cason. Do you need a public defender to help you with your new charges?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in case number 2022 CF 7200. Probable cause has been found for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams and attempt to conceal or destroy evidence. I'll stay the bond. Your total bond is $500. That was alleged to have occurred on June 13th and stemmed from the same trespass event. So I can either no action defense counsel the trespass, or I can do a time served plea. And I'll withhold.
I would, no action, Your Honor, only because he doesn't have any convictions.
Thank you. After that is Wilberson Charles.
She refused, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender, find probable cause, stay the bond, and I'll find a waiver. Charles Chesser. Are you Mr. Chesser?
Yes, ma'am.
Case number 2020 CF 9299. You're here for a charge of burglary of a conveyance as well as battery with one prior. State, do you have any input on count 1 bond?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, anything?
No, Your Honor.
Based on your criminal history and the facts of this case on count 1, I'm going to set bond at $10,000. On count 2, I'll set bond at $150. I'm also going to order that you not possess any weapons, and you are also being ordered to have no contact with the victim. This may affect your case in Levi County.
Yeah, in Levy County, they put me on probation, they said that this will not affect that.
Matthew Clark. Are you Mr. Clark?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clark, do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal drug charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint their services. I find probable cause for trafficking in meth above 14 grams, possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Based on your history and your prior failures to appear, I'll stay the bond, so your total bond is $50,250. What is your name, sir?
Carlos?
Give me one moment, Carlos. Where is Joel Diaz? All right, in Joel Diaz's case, he has case number, I'll appoint the services of the public defender in 22 CF 7312. I find probable cause has been found State, do you want to be heard on bond on count one?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, he is entitled to bonds. On count one, I'm going to set bond at $20,000. On count two, $150, and count three, $150. No contact with the victim or any witnesses. Defendant is not to possess any weapons. And no return to the scene of the crime. In case 2017 CF 9333, I'll go ahead and revoke his release. He has a hearing tomorrow in front of Judge Calderon, Defense Counsel.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for the wait, Mr. Figueroa. Can you please take the podium? Mr. Figueroa, you make too much money to qualify for the services of the public defender. I am going to give you monetary bond. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamines, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your total bond is $1,200. Is that a bond you can afford?
As of right now, just cash?
What?
Just cash?
You can use a surety, a bondsman?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. If you can't afford it, I will authorize pretrial release, but you do need to report it monthly. Let's see what you can do on that, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, PTO. What happened to John Emmanuel Gross?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. Antavius Johnson.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Harry Lutzum.
Behavior.
Okay, I'll treat that as a refusal in case number 2022 CF 7439AO. I'll appoint the public defender. I'll stay the bond at $2,500 upon finding probable cause. Are you Chelsea Matos? Come on up, Ms. Matos.
Hello.
Ms. Matos, you were arrested for charges of possession of MDMA. Do you need a public defender to help you with your new case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender and stay the bond at $1,000. You also have a pending case with court in about a month. In case 22 CF 2782AO, I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond until you see Judge Calderon. After that is Robert Kerr Mitchell.
And, Your Honor, on this case, I don't see any other history. Would you be inclined to revoke and double as opposed to holding her in no bond? Since she picked up a
What says the
nonviolent.
state? I'd be more inclined to give her a new bond with PTR and testing, with testing through PTR.
She wouldn't qualify because of the robbery charge, Your Honor.
What about testing through PTR?
Oh, she can do testing.
We're okay with that, Your Honor.
What says the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, let me go ahead and readdress 2022 CF 2782AO. On the robbery and battery, I'm revoking your release. I'm giving you a new bond of $2,500 per count, plus drug testing through the pretrial release program. Drug testing can begin anytime after July 30th. You're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia. Are you feeling okay right now? Okay, thank you, everybody. Robert Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, do you need a public defender to help you with your current case?
My lawyer's not here, so I guess so, yes.
What's the name of your lawyer?
Andrew Darling?
Who?
Andrew Darling?
Is he with the PD's office?
No. He's a paid lawyer.
Okay, well, I don't have any paperwork from him.
Right.
Would you like me to readdress your case for tomorrow so you have time to hire your own attorney?
No, I'm not gonna have, no, I'll get a public defender until I can at least get bonded out or something.
All right, I'm going to be addressing your Orange County court cases as well as the Osceola County case that you do have bond on. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. You do qualify. Sir, you're here you are entitled to monetary bonds. I am considering the facts of this case as well as your criminal history and your lack of ties and your lack of ties to this community and your out-of-state criminal history. On count one, you're here for human trafficking with children under the age of 18. I'm setting your bond at $150,000. On count two, deriving support from proceeds of prostitution.
What was that?
Deriving support from proceeds of prostitution or lewd acts as a first-time offender. I'm setting your bond at $20,000. Count 3, sexual act with a 16 or 17-year-old child, your bond is $150. Count 4, directing or transporting for purposes of prostitution or lewd act, setting your bond at $150. Count 5, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, $150. And count 6, renting space to be used for prostitution, I'm setting bond at $150. You're to have no contact with any person under the age of 18. And you're also not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or drug paraphernalia, nor are you to have any weapons. Because of your Osceola County Court case, one of the conditions is that you commit no new law violation. So in Osceola Case 22 CF 51AO, I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond as to all counts.
So I have no bond?
Yes, that's correct. No bond plus monetary bond on the new offenses.
All right, so the no bond, why do I have no bond on that?
You're not supposed to get arrested or commit new law offenses. Thank you, sir. After that, I have Sammy Murillo. Are you Mr. Murillo?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Murillo, you're here for new charges. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In case number 2022 CF 744AO, you were arrested for dealing in stolen property and grand theft. I'll go ahead and stay the bond on count 1 at $5,000. On count 2, modify to subsidiary at $150. No return to the scene of the crime, no contact with any of the witnesses, and I'll take no action on the Osceola County Court case. Fredson Noel is after that.
You do not qualify. You have an out on bond, and you pick up new law. They're not going to give you RO.
After that, I have Miguel Pagan. Are you Mr. Pagan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pagan, do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. You were arrested and I find probable cause for possession of cannabis with greater than 20 grams with the weapon and possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. On count, I'll stay the bonds. Your total bond is $7,650. Can you afford those bonds?
No, ma'am.
How long have you lived in Orlando?
I've been here for like 15 years, approximately, or more.
All right, on count 1, I'll modify the bond to $5,000. Your total bond is now $5,150.
Thank you.
David Proudfoot is next. Mr. Proudfoot, Mr. Proudfoot, you're here for an add-on charge for grand theft third degree in case number 2022 CF 7428. I do find probable cause for that. Based on this being an add-on, I'll modify bond to subsidiary bond at $150. No return to Disney. And your public defender will stay on the case. What's your name, sir?
Travis Relaford.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Travis Relaford.
Mr. Relaford, do you need a public defender to help you with your new charges?
Right now, yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and find you qualify and appoint them. You were arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens activated, resisting officer without violence, and possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. I find probable causes to all counts. On count 1, I'm going to set the bond at $5,000 and stay the remaining bonds. And then you're also already out on bond in 2022, CF 6875. You have a court date in July. I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond as to all charges.
For which case?
Your judge is Judge LeBlanc for racketeering. You already have a public defender, conspiracy to commit racketeering and trafficking in cannabis. Thank you.
You said I have a court date in July.
You have a court date on July 20th in front of Judge LeBlanc.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Seeley?
Hey, how you doing? Good morning.
I'm well, thank you, what's your first name?
Yes, first name is Quinn.
All right, in case 22 CF 7443AO, You're here for a charge of possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. I find probable cause. Do you want a public defender?
Yeah, I guess I'd take it for this, but I have a bond on this charge.
You do have a bond, but you have no bond on your probation charge.
Yeah, so I just pay the bond here and I just go deal with Leon
No,
County.
we're gonna hold you here at no bond until they make a decision.
Oh, okay. I thought I paid the bond and then Leon County would just
You
deal
can,
with.
you can pay the bond on your Orange County court case, but they're not gonna do anything until Leon County does something. You're at no bond on your Leon County case. So the way it works is we hold you here until Leon County picks you up.
Okay, yeah, I know.
So do you want a public defender to help you while you're in Orange County?
I just pay the bond. I could just pay the bond, right? And just wait till Leon County come get me.
Sure. All right, possession of cannabis, I will go ahead and stay the bond, and I'll stay the bond on the violation of probation. Probable cause has been found. Thank you. Your case is over.
So, hold on. So I can still pay the bond? That's what she's telling me?
I've given you all the information I can. If you need to hire an attorney, you can after court. Seraphin Pierre, what's your first name?
Altariq.
What?
Altariq.
Sir, you're here for carrying a concealed firearm in possession of cannabis. I'm going to stay the bonds and I find probable cause. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the public defender's office will be appointed. Your total bond is $2,600. Marchant Simpkins is next. All right, defendant has a failure to appear in 2022 CF 9493. If he does not have a public defender, I'll go ahead and appoint one and stay the bond. After that, I have James Sneed. What's your name, sir? Oh, sure. Are you Mr. Sneed? Mr. Sneed, you're here in case number 2022 CF 7435 for burglary of an unoccupied structure or conveyance, grand theft third degree, and criminal mischief. Do you need a public defender, a lawyer to help you with your case? I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I'll stay the bond on count 1, modify count 2 and 3 to 150, subsidiary bond. Your total bond is $2,800, no contact, no return. After that is Thaddeus Terrell. Good morning, Mr. Terrell. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges? I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. You're here for a warrant for petty theft with 2 prior convictions, which was alleged to have occurred on or about June 15th. Your bond is $1,500. Sky Van Deen.
He refused, Your Honor.
Case 2022 CF 6338AO. I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender, find he's waived his appearance by refusing, and stay all bonds. In case 22 CF 7444, I have Zekiah Williams. Are you Mr. Williams?
No, ma'am, I'm Will.
Give me just a moment.
What's the inmate number, Your Honor?
It is 220-14815.
He bonded. She bonded.
Thank you. And you said you're Mr. Wilson? Mr. Wilson, come on up. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
I do unless they drop the charges.
Okay, well, we won't make that decision today, so I'll go ahead and appoint one if that's
I do
okay.
need one, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. You were arrested for burglary of a dwelling with an assault or battery therein, as well as battery on a person age 65 years of age or older. I do find probable cause. I'm going to treat this, I'll go ahead and stay the bond. I'm ordering no contact with the victim of this case. You must maintain a separate residence while this case is pending. I will authorize a one-time return so you can collect some of your belongings, but you must be accompanied by a police officer. Does he have reporting requirements?
No.
Defense, corrections?
Not.
All right, thank you. State, anything else?
Nothing from the state.
Defense, anything else?
Nothing from the bench, Your Honor.
Corrections, and Madam Trial Clerk? All right, court will be adjourned.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
Your Honor, I will waive the appearance.
All right, PD's office for the charge of trespass and resisting, I'll go ahead, their appearance will be waived and PD's appointed.
Your Honor, I apologize. I wasn't here yesterday, so are the bond amounts staying the same and are
Yes,
there
I
any
stayed
conditions?
everything. It was, there was a chance that it was a time-served plea, so we rolled it.
Okay. Is it no return to the location?
Everything was set yesterday, so everything else has stayed. The only thing we were doing was a possible plea. Good morning, sir. Can you start by telling me what your name is?
Richie Toussaint.
Mr. Toussaint, you are here for a violation of probation from another county. Do you want a public defender to help you with your case while you're in custody at the Orange County Jail?
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Your Honor. Actually, he's already went to court. They missed a high-risk sex offender detainer on him, and that's the only reason why he's here.
Whoa, you said what now? Because I'm not no sex offender. Y'all can check that again.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
What are we showing?
One moment.
Okay, you're a high-risk violent offender because of your prior history of robbery and gun charges out of Broward County. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay? Thank you.
One question. How long would it take for them to expedite me back to my county?
They have up to 30 days. Please contact your attorney if you have one in Broward County, and I've appointed a public defender while you're here in the Orange County Jail. So as long as you're here, you'll have an Orange County Ninth Circuit public defender. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
What's your name?
Janelle Antonio Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, you're here for 6 different charges: trafficking in amphetamines with 14 grams or more, and a firearm, as well as possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, carrying a concealed firearm, resisting officer without violence, trespass on property after warning. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
I was willing to
Do you need your, okay, so yesterday, you said you wanted your case rolled over to today, so you
Right.
could hire your own attorney.
Right, they didn't
So
allow
wait.
me to use a telephone, so I couldn't reach out to anyone.
So do you want a public defender today? I cannot roll your first appearance over anymore. Do you want a public defender, or do you plan to represent yourself?
I guess I'll take public defender until I get paid.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender
Can I speak
services.
with a public defender, for a second?
No, we've reset your case already to give you time. I'm going to go ahead and conduct your first appearance. State, do you want to stay all conditions and bonds?
Yes, Your Honor. However, I believe count 1, he is entitled to a bond.
That's why I asked. So what kind of bond amount are you suggesting?
100,000.
What says defense?
Your Honor, I would ask for a $50,000 bond.
Okay, he's already out on bond, on possession of a
I know you're out.
firearm by a convicted felon and possession of meth in case 2021 CF 11725. I think the state's recommendation is appropriate and actually quite lenient. So on count one, I'm going to set bond at $150,000, and I'll stay all the remaining count bonds. You're not to have any firearms, you're not to possess any illegal drugs, and as if it wasn't mentioned, for housekeeping purposes, in 21 CF 11725AO, I'll go ahead and revoke your release and hold you at no bond. Thank you.
I'm gonna let her know.
Sandra Breckenbroke. Good morning. Can you start by telling me your name?
Yes, Sandy, oh, sorry. Sandy Brokenborough.
Ma'am, you're here for a charge of aggravated assault, dating violence, and battery dating violence. State, do you have any witnesses or victims that are present today, this morning?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, just double checking. Do you need a public defender that's an attorney to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I do find that there's probable cause and you are entitled to release conditions. How are you related to Mr. Jackson?
We've been together for 12 years.
And you live together, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Since your last conviction for a felony was some time ago, I'll go ahead and on count one, set your bond at $2,000. On count two, I'll set your bond at $100 for a total of $2,100. You're to have no contact with the victim. You must reside separately. He can stay in the home. You cannot go back there with a one-time exception of with a police officer, and you're not to have any weapons. Weapons are to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Joshua Nicola. Are you Mr. Nicola?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Nicola, you're here for 2 felony charges. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal case?
Yes, yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause for aggravated battery in a pregnant person, count 1, and aggravated battery domestic violence, count 2. You are entitled to monetary bonds. I have considered your history, which includes the Texas cases. How long have you been living in Orange County?
2 years.
2 years? All right, on count 1, I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. On count 2, I'll set your bond at $150. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. The victim, if you live together, the victim can stay where she is. You're not allowed to go back there with the exception of with a police officer, and that's one time. You're not allowed to have any weapons. Weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail.
I apologize, Your Honor. I missed the amount on count one, the bond amount.
$2,000.
Thank you.
Jaria Warner's next. Your name, please?
Jaria Warner.
Miss Warner, you're already out on bond in case number 2022 CF 6670AO. I'll address those cases shortly, and then you have new charges of aggravated stalking, battery with 1 prior conviction, and violation of pretrial release. All those offenses were alleged to have occurred on or about June 23rd. Do you need a public defender to help you with all of your cases? I'll appoint the services of the public defender. She is entitled to bonds in 2022 CF 7408. On that case, I will go ahead and set bond at $2,500 on count 1, $150 on count 2, and $100 on count 3. You're to have no contact with the victim, and you're to possess no weapons. All prior court orders are in full force and effect. In case number 2022 MM4293, you have a charge of battery. I do find that there's probable cause. I'll go ahead and stay those bonds with the same conditions: no contact with the victim, maintain separate residence, and you're not to possess any weapons. And then finally, in case 2022 CF 6670AO, I'm revoking your release and holding you at no bond. Mario Garcia is next. Are you Mr. Garcia? Mr. Garcia, you're here for a crime of battery, domestic violence, as well as assault. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I'm going to set the bond on count 1 at $1,000, on count 2 at $100. Your bond total is $1,100. You're to have no contact with victim Haywood. You must maintain a separate residence. Victim can stay there. You're only allowed a one-time return with the police officer, and you're not allowed to have any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from Orange County Jail.
Part of it is mental health.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I'll go ahead and, let me check something.
Your Honor, she has a history of mental health, so I would just ask that she be allowed to be screened for mental health pretrial release and set a bond in the alternative if she doesn't qualify.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll mental health pretrial release, granting that request if qualifies for mental health pretrial release. In the alternative, if not, I'll set bond at $500. The conditions are the same either way. No contact with the victim. Maintain separate, no contact with the victim or witness. Maintain separate residence. One-time return, and no weapons. Weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours of release from jail. And that should conclude her case. Are you waiving her appearance otherwise? Mr. Fence? Are you waiving her appearance otherwise?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And PD is appointed. Kenya Mitchell's next. Good morning. Are you Miss Mitchell?
Sure, Honor.
Miss Mitchell, good morning. You were arrested for an offense of battery, domestic violence. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Do you want, defense, ask her if she wants PTD or monetary?
Yes, Your Honor, pretrial release.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and place you on pretrial release. You're to have no contact with Jamarius Fountain. You're not to possess any weapons. Weapons to be surrendered within 4 hours. Jamarius can stay in the residence. You're not allowed to go back there. You must live separately with a one-time return when you're accompanied by a police officer. Do you have any questions?
Care for him.
Excuse me?
Your Honor, I'm his caregiver.
I'm sorry, without him being here or without any testimony, you have to be concerned about the safety of the victim. Thank you. The next person is Eugene Richards. Mr. Richards, good morning. Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges for battery, dating violence?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint them. How old are you?
I'm 25.
All right, do you live with the victim? All right, do you have somewhere else to live if I order that you cannot live with the victim?
Honestly, no, no, I don't.
Excuse me?
I said no, I don't.
All right, I'll do pretrial release if pretrial release or $250 bond. I'm ordering that you have no contact with the victim, that you maintain a separate residence from her. You're not allowed to go back to that address where she's living. I will allow for a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer. You're to have no weapons. Any weapons, including any firearms or ammunition, need to be surrendered to the police department within 4 hours of your release. Do you understand what no contact means, Mr. Richards?
Yes.
All right.
Jamaya Manning refused.
Okay, Mr. Manning's here on a violation of probation. I'll go ahead and hold him and he'll continue to be held at no bond. His appearance will be waived, but I'll appoint a public defender for purposes of his time in the Orange County Jail. Melvin Alexander is next.
They said we didn't need him, that he bonded.
Okay. How did he bond if he was on? Okay, what's your name? Are you Charlie Brown?
That's fine.
Come on up, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, you have a case here in Orange County, case 19 CF 15479AO. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. You'll continue to be held at no bond. Defense counsel, would you like me to enter denials?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Don't worry about it.
And after that is Jose Santiago. Good morning, Mr. Santiago. You're here for a violation of probation. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
You're on probation for the underlying offense of robbery with a gun or other deadly weapon. It's alleged that while on your probation, you failed to report as directed, and you changed your residence without the consent of your probation officer. You'll continue to be held at no bond until you have a hearing in front of Judge Wooten. Thank you, sir. Give me a moment for the 33 days.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
In Osceola County, Florida, I'm Judge Madrigal. I will be presiding today. Let's go ahead and get appearances. We're going to start with the state of Florida.
Maria Morales on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Alberto Melendez for the defense, Your Honor.
And John Mancini on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Okay, so Jose Sanchez Pena. All right. Afternoon, sir. Your name and date of birth, please.
Jose Sanchez Pena, 12/28/1990.
All right, Mr. Sanchez Pena. Your counsel is here. I know you can't see him, but you can hear him. It's Mr. Melendez. He's here. You are here on a bench warrant issued by Judge Jan Savage for failure to appear at a VOP arraignment. I'm checking the date on this. Looks from July 7th of 2017. You failed to appear on that day, so 5 years ago, just about. So she's found probable cause, issued the warrant. She set zero bond. I hear you out on.
Your Honor, I spoke to the state attorney assigned to this case, Charles Fink, and he has indicated to me that he has no objection setting a bond in this case. I'd just be asking for a reasonable bond on it.
Who sets bonds? State or the judiciary?
Your Honor, does, of course.
They're going to make me do a separation of powers.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I can do for you, I will try to contact Judge Jan Savage, see if she gives me a bond on this case. So if you just want to sit tight, I'll see if she gives me a bond, and we'll try to find out by the end.
I'm not sure if this will matter, but Judge Jan Savage is no longer in this division. I believe it's now Judge Gabriel Sanders.
It might be easier to get a hold of. Hold on. It is. You have a number, Jose? Gabby Sanders?
I have her phone number.
Can you put it in here?
And if it helps, I have filed a motion to set bond on this case.
Okay, I think she'll, I have a case of yours where the guy failed to appear on July 7th of 2017, comma, it's currently set no bond, period. It's for no valid driver's license, period. Do you want me to set bond, question mark, how much, question mark? All right, I'll let you know if she responds.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. And thank you, Melissa. Thanks. I should have her number. All right, Anthony Albaran?
He's present and approaching, Your Honor.
All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please. Sir, your name and date of birth, please. All right, I couldn't hear him.
There might be an issue with that microphone. If you give me 1 moment, Your Honor. Can you
Sure.
still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, Mr. Mancini.
Okay, if you give me 1 moment, I'll be happy to check that microphone, Your Honor.
Mancini's got that smooth baritone voice of a young Sinatra.
Your Honor, can you hear me over here now?
Yes.
Okay, I believe I fixed the problem.
Yeah, and the tech savviness of a young Steve Jobs.
We have to be very multi-skilled in the public defender's office, Your Honor.
Right. Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Anthony Albaran, 9/21, 1978.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini in his office to assist you on these cases. You're here on 3 violations of probation warrants signed by another judge. He set your bond at no bond on those 3 cases, so I'll stay that bond. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Derek Brown.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please. All right, Mr. Brown, you're here on 2 cases. The first one, I signed a warrant and set your bond at $500. It's for a charge of dealing in stolen property. I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on that case. The second case is a warrant for a violation of probation, so another judge has already found probable cause. I am going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on that case. She set your bond at no bond, so we will stay that bond. All right, thank you, sir. Nelson Mercado Acevedo. All right, he has family members here. You guys want to come up? You may. All right, sir, your name and date of birth?
Nelson Mercado Acevedo, September 4, 1996.
All right, Mr. Mercado, you have mom? Is this mom? Your mother is here. He can't see you. He can only see me, but he can hear you. You can say hello.
Dios te bendiga, papi.
Bendición.
I will translate. That's God bless you, Pop. Blessings, Mom. All right, so, sir, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on this case. You are here on 1 count, 1 case of violating probation. So a judge has found probable cause and set your bond at 0. So we will stay that bond. Is this from 2016?
Yes, Your Honor, that's what it,
The violation was in 2016?
warrant was issued February 15th. of 2016.
Okay. Who has it now? Because I know it was Judge Draper at the time. Oh, right. You just want to take a seat. All right, so I'm going to find probable cause. I'm going to set the bond at 0, but I'll reach out to Judge Sanders, see if she responds by the end of today's hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Sophia Chiquita Simmons.
She's present and approaching, Your Honor.
All right, name and date of birth, please.
Sophia Shakita Simmons, 7/16/1977.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on these cases. You're here on 2 violations of probation. So bond has been set at 0. So I will stay that bond on both cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Melendez, do you want to come back up? All right, so let's recall Mr. Sanchez Pena. All right, Mr. Sanchez Pena, I'm going to give you a bond. I'm going to set your bond at $250. I'm going to order you to not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All right, thank you. And then if Mr. Mercado,
Have a good day, thank you.
thank you, sir. Mr. Mercado wants to come back up.
He's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Mr. Mercado, I'm going to set your bond at $250.
Thank you.
All right. And don't operate a motorcycle without a valid driver's license.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, guys. All right, so we're back on to Rashawn Varnado.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, name and date of birth, sir? All right, Mr. Varnado, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you. You're here on a warrant for 2 counts of domestic battery. Another judge has already found probable cause for those charges. I'm going to set your bond at $250 with PTR on each count. Additionally, I'm going to set conditions of no contact with the victim, no weapons or firearms, and no return to the scene. I will allow a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings, okay? All right, thank you. I got Israelis Ferrer Ibello.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
All right, name and date of birth, please.
Iraceli Spender Labello, June 28, 1999.
Or Israelis, I'm sorry, I butchered your name. All right. Ma'am, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini in his office to represent you on this case. You're also here on a violation of probation. It looks like you didn't complete BIP, a batter's intervention treatment. So Judge Carson issued a warrant for your arrest, set your bond at 0. I will stay that bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Tia Carly Rhea Tanner.
She's present and approaching, Your Honor.
All right. All right, your name and your date of birth, please.
Tia Tanner, 6/3/2002.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you. You're also here on a warrant for violation of probation. Judge Young found probable cause, set your bond at no bond. So I will stay that bond, so it'll be no bond, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yasel Cabrera? Yeah.
He's present and approaching, Your Honor.
He projects his voice well.
Yeah, he does.
Right. Sir, your name, good morning, or afternoon. Your name and date of birth, sir.
10380 Yasel Cabrera.
All right, sir, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on this case, okay?
Thank you.
You're here on one count of trespassing. I've reviewed the affidavit. I find there is probable cause for that charge. I am going to, does he have just a bunch of trespasses? Is that history, any violent crime?
He has 109 prior misdemeanors, most of which are trespassing. He did have a robbery in 1998. He was currently released out ROR on the 23rd of this month for the same charge.
Your Honor, if I may be heard.
Sure.
I do believe my office has some history with this particular client. There are possible ICP concerns. I would ask the court to consider continuing the ROR based on that nature and the nature of the charge.
I'm inclined to ROR him. Ms. Morales, any objection?
No, this is inside, Your Honor.
All right, I'll ROR him. Thank you. No return to the scene, by the way, as a condition.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you'll be taking no action on his?
Yeah, I'm gonna take no
okay.
Diana Cretan D'Souza.
She is present and approaching, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, your name and date of birth.
All
All right, ma'am, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on this case. You're here on two counts. First one, the petty theft. Second one is the possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. I'm going to find a probable cause for those charges. I am going to order you be released direct PTR on those counts, so there'll be no monetary conditions of that bond. I am going to ask you to not return to that Walmart and to not possess any controlled substance without a valid prescription, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Robert Garcia Urena.
Present and approaching, Your Honor.
Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Robert Luis Garcia Urena, 01/27/1995.
All right, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you, sir. You are here on one count of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. Your brother, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 with PTR. Did we make contact with the victim?
Yes, Your Honor, the victim would like contact.
Do you all live together, you and your brother?
Yes, we live together.
Okay. I'll order no hostile contact on this one. So that means you can't play fight, you can't yell at each other, you can't throw things at each other, hit each other, anything like that, okay?
All right, yes, sir.
All right.
Just for the record, state would like to put the objection on the record, based on the nature of the charges and the proximity and time of the circumstances,
To the contact or to the bond?
to the contact.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to order you to not have any weapons of any kind, also no alcohol. And that'll be it. Thank you. Bond with PTR, yes. Casey Jonas.
Your Honor, I've been informed by corrections that he is detoxing and in the midst of a mental health crisis. I would ask for a 24-hour reset.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Jonas until tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Loriana Jones.
Present
Your name and date of birth?
Lariana Jones, October 17, 2002.
All right. Ms. Jones, I am going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on this case. You're here on one count of simple battery. I find probable cause for that charge. Officer Marino, do we have any history on her?
Your Honor, she did have a battery as a juvenile in 2020, no other history. We did not make contact with the victim because it's non-domestic. She does qualify for direct PTR.
Are you still a student?
Yes, I'm a student.
Like high school?
Yeah, I'm just a student in high school.
I'm going to order her release direct PTR. I'm going to order no contact with the victim. My understanding is you do not share a home.
I share a home with her, but I'm not in the same room with her.
I have that your permanent address is on a Gillingham.
Not Gillingham, it's not 3029 Prelude Lane, Kissimmee.
What's her relation to the victim?
The relation is that she is in the system with me, and she is a person in the system with me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it the juvenile system or the DCF?
DCF? Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm still going to do PTR. I'm struggling with if DCF would move her to a different location if there's no contact, or keep her there, and how that would interfere with other situations or other issues. Anybody know? Anybody give me any insight into that?
No, Your Honor.
I think if I do no contact, DCF will move one of them.
That would be my assumption, Your Honor, but I have no concrete evidence to back it up.
Okay. So I'm going to do no contact at this time. No weapons, no contact. That'll be it.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't put no return. Because if the other young lady is moved, she can return to the scene. So I'll put maintain separate residence. Maybe that's probably the smartest thing to do. So no contact, maintain separate residence. DCF to facilitate that. Jacob Pardon.
Mr. President, approaching, Your Honor.
Isn't that the name of one of your coworkers at one point?
Jacob Martin, 82692.
I believe so, Your Honor, yes. I believe, yes.
Different spelling, I think.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. All right, sir, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on this case. You are here on a one count of petty theft. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. I am going to set your bond at $250. Order you not to return to the scene. All right, thank you, sir. William Romanowski.
President, approaching, Your Honor.
Afternoon, sir.
Sir, name and date of birth, please.
2/16/91.
All right, sir, you are here on one count of driving with a suspended or revoked license. I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. I am going to set your bond at $500 for that count. I am going to revoke on 21 CF 2155. All right, thank you. David Sly.
President, approaching, Your Honor.
David Sly, August 21st, 1993.
Oh, don't drive without a valid driver's license. All right, sir, I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you on this case. You're here on two counts. One is aggravated battery. The second one is kidnapping, false imprisonment. I find probable cause for both those charges. Can I get a history, Officer Marino?
Yes, Your Honor. He's currently out on probation out of Orange County. In 2016, CF 14422 for a robbery that was committed in 2016. He has history of aggravated assault, kidnapping, marijuana possession. Most recently in 2021, he had a battery which was dropped out of Brevard.
All right, I'm gonna give you bond. I'm gonna set your bond on count 1 at 25,000, on count 2 at 10,000, and then I'm gonna revoke on the probation. I'm gonna order no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, no weapons of any kind. A one-time return with law enforcement.
Your Honor, I believe you may have a question. May I inquire for a moment?
Sure.
Your Honor, we are ready to proceed. He was.
Or find a on-view violation. Sorry, on-view violation is technically the.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Billy Joe Hudson.
President approaching, Your Honor.
11/22/78, sir.
Is it Billy Joe?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am, you are here on, I have five out of counties and then 2 new counts, is that?
Only knew of 2 out of counties, but.
Gotcha. Okay. So, first case, you're here on 2 counts. Possession of methamphetamine and drug equipment possession or use. I'm going to appoint Mr. Mancini and his office to represent you. Find probable cause. Set your bond at 1,000 on count 1, 500 on count 2, and order you not consume any drugs or controlled substance without a valid prescription. The second case is a warrant out of Pinellas County. I'm a little confused. It's for failure to appear and then possess. Hold on, I'm confused on this. Give me 1 second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have duplicate ones?
Okay. So on this case, it's a failure to appear for an arraignment on tampering with physical evidence, possession of methamphetamine, and providing false name or identity to law enforcement. The bond on that case, which has 3 counts, is 100,000 on count 1, which is the possession. 1,000, no, sorry. I'm sorry. The tampering with physical evidence is 100,000. The possession is 100,000, and the providing false info is 25,039 cents. Is that what it is?
The first one is at the. It was written a little bit.
$25,039 on the third count.
Yes.
Yeah. So the total bond on that case is $225,039. There's another warrant for failure to appear in Pinellas County. That one has 2 counts, both possession counts. Bond on count 1 was set on, I'm sorry. Count 1 is possession of methamphetamine. Count 2 is petty theft. The bond on count one is 2,000, on count two, it's 150. And so the total bond on that case is 2,150. So the way I have it on this is that the possession count was 150, the petty theft was 2,000? Okay. All right. So we'll let Pinellas County know, and they'll come get you, or you can bond out. Thank you. Sorry for the confusion explanation of those. That's the last one I have.
Yes, I believe that is correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mancini. Good seeing you. Take care.
You have a good week, sir.
You too.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
Thank you to all of my patrons, members, and supporters. You are the reason that I am able to upload new bond courts daily. All members and patrons receive access to the Bond Court Discord server. Please send me a message on Patreon or leave a comment on YouTube if you are unable to join the server. Thank you all for your support.